everybody. Hello. Oh, welcome so much. It's so lovely to see so many of your beautiful, beautiful, wonderful faces. Thank you so much for coming here today. We'll go to some hellos in just a second, but let's all just wave hello to those watching on the live streams and the archives. Hello, everybody. Hello. Let's go through and say hi to some magical people. We have our dear friend Elsie. We're gonna hear music from in just a second in Chicago. Jojo, thank you for everything. Clive in Birmingham. Bonnie in Boise. Sarah in California. Susan in Cincinnati. Sheila in Florida. Nan in Michigan. Marion in Brighton. Susan in Seattle. Bob Mabel in the Bears in Massachusetts. Deborah in Kentucky, Kathy in Colorado, Athena in Brooklyn, and Meredith and friend. Very nice to see you. Deep breath. Kathleen in Albuquerque, wonderful to see you. Bene in Berkeley, Ruth in Birmingham, Nancy in Washington, Hoda in British Columbia, Laris in the UK. Caroline in DC, and Aloysius in Massachusetts. iPhone 7 in black. Nice to see you here. Adele, nice to see you. Lorena and Katina and Courtney, nice to see you. Neil in Boston, wonderful to see you. A wonderful Ariana, thank you for everything you do for us. Thank you. Jenny in Suffolk, Lynn and Lynn in Vermont. Lynn and Cliff in Vermont just changed. Maggie in California. Anne in Silver Spring. Moon in Virginia. And Fred in Silver Spring. And Anne in Nashville. Trish in Victoria, BC. Oh, things have moved. Carol in Connecticut. Kay in Texas. Carolyn in Idaho. Bronwyn. Bob in Mass. Our dear friend iPad 4. And Julia Alexander. Beautiful to see you all here. And we are fast approaching 1,800 days. You're on day 1,795. So the Daily Antidote. Absolute magic. I don't know about any of you, but I definitely stayed up later than I should have done last night watching something that was both spine-chilling and not unexpected. And I was knowing that I was going to be able to be here today with you all and seeing this amazing community and knowing the stuff we're doing together to help ourselves and help our country and our communities is wonderful. And just with that in mind, I just want always to take a very, very therapeutic deep breath. What I do when I do these breaths is I envision a color. My favorite color is a very healing color for me. It's the color purple. You can see some of it on my wall. I'm slowly putting up sound canceling, soundproofing, and it's purple, which makes me happy. But I envision this color filling to every point of my body when I breathe in. And so I want you to, well, we'll do this. We're gonna think about that. We're gonna feel about this healing color, your favorite color, a color of healing to you. And we're going to think about breathing it into every inch of our body. All right, here we go. Magic. As well as just feeling so healing, just visualizations like that really, really help me. The breaths are amazing, but the visualizations of filling yourself full of healing is really, really, really important. Plus, it's my one moment I get to imagine myself being completely my favorite color, which is awesome. We have one of my favorite singers in the room today. Let's all say hi to Elsie. Hello.
Hi.
Oh,
wow, that's an honor.
We'll do a bit of a chatting in a minute, but you've brought an absolutely fabulous song. I'd love you to sort of briefly intro it and then maybe sing us the chorus a couple of times so we can join in. That'll be magic.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you guys have seen me on here before, I've played pretty happy songs. This one's not one. So that's just a heads up. I wrote this, started writing this basically right after the election. So, that's all it needs saying, I think, after the results came out. Yeah. So I'll just play the first chorus. For those not in the know, my microphone's right in between my two hands, so it's not really ideal piano positioning, but we're gonna do our best here because it's all I got. And they think that it's a joke, and they say they think he's funny. They'll take away my rights, but they'll do it cause they love me, and they'll do anything to protect what's in my tummy, but forget all about me the moment that it's just me. My body, my body, and I'll do it again. And they think that it's a joke, and they say they think he's funny. They'll take away my rights, but they'll do it cause they love me, and they'll do anything to protect what's in my tummy, but forget all about me the moment that it's just me. My body, my body. So I guess I'll just play it now. Been crying all morning, don't recognize myself in the mirror. Embarrassed to wear the hat that shows off our failure. And the smiles I got on the bus last night are fresh in my memory. Now I don't trust the faces I see. And they think that it's a joke, and they say they think he's funny. They'll take away my rights, but they'll do it cause they love me, and they'll do anything to protect what's in my tummy, but forget all about me the moment that it's just me. My body, my body. Don't want to admit the fear that I feel is breaking me. Nothing could hit me quite as hard as the future I see. And I want it to be fine, but hoping just feels so naive. When even my boss is calling me to grieve. And they think that it's a joke, and they say they think he's funny. They'll take away my rights, but they'll do it cause they love me, and they'll do anything to protect what's in my tummy, but rip away the ring the moment she says that she loves me. My body, my body, by plan B's and IUDs, the news has brought me to my knees. Would I pray to a kinder God? Sure, I'll be fine, I'll find a way. Try to smile as strangers say. Besides that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? And they think that it's a joke, and they say they think he's funny. They'll sell off all their rights for the price of cheap gasoline. And when it goes to hell and they're holding all the matches, they'll be surprised when they feel their butts. And they think that it's a joke and they say they think he's funny. They'll give away their rights when he says, I'll fix it, trust me. And they'd lose everything to control what's in my body. Is anybody feeling this? I hope it isn't just me. My body. My body. Thank you.
I want you to know that is a good oof. But
I shake. I'm like shaking playing it.
wow.
Yeah, so I just wrote that. And that's how I feel.
I was gonna say I think that is a incredible snapshot of emotion and words and a situation that so many are facing. And really powerful. But I I think what the writing does, you do an amazing job of capturing a nation's sadness and stress and madness and angriness, as well as completely perfectly capturing you and your moment and your emotion and reaction to the situation as well. And that's when a song really feels powerful, is when you can tell and learn the emotion of the writing, both personally and as a community. That's really amazing. Do you want to tell us a bit more
Thank you.
about what it says a lot there, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so the night of the election, I went to my friend's house. It was kind of last minute, and I was like, I don't think I want to do this alone. You want to like watch the election together? So I hopped up on the bus. I have my little Kamala hat and my 2 bottles of wine and a bunch of gummy bears or like whatever it was, some kind of candy. And I went over to hers and, um, you know, a relatively new friend who I would consider a close friend, but we're still learning about each other. And so as the night went on, the bottles just were flowing, and we basically had the election on in the background. And in a way, it was kind of a wonderful evening because we really were getting to know each other more. It was the longest like alone time we'd spent together in a long time. But then we'd kind of glance over and be like, "Okay, that's not going great." But what was that you said about your parents? And by the end of the night, we were like, I don't think I can process this right now. I'm gonna go home. And it was like 2 a.m. We're like, all right, have a good one. And waking up the next morning, that's kind of. I mean, there's not that much to say, is there? Like in a way, there's everything to say, and at the same time, it's like that's why the song's there, because I just, I'm angry, I'm upset, and the anger is fueling a lot of action on my part, and I think a lot of people's part that I know. At the same time, it's hard to sit in your body and be like, I'm 30. I just turned 30 in October, and this is my youth. Like, okay, I had a pandemic to live through, and then like, it just would be nice if I felt like things were being handled, and they're not. And every time I get on the phone or something, and I'm just like, oh, that was a mistake. I'm gonna turn that off now.
I was saying this last time I was in the room, but the emotion, I'm just generally so much more emotional right now, and I don't know when I'm going to burst, both in emotion and crying, like I did just now, but also I don't know when I'm going to burst in anger and be a person I don't want to be, because it's all too much. And it's particularly hard right now as a parent, where and I'm parent of 2 transgender children right now, and trying to be the kind, loving, nice human that I want my children to be to them and keep them safe, but also not clouding them in a complete like in cotton wool, because they need to know some of what's going on, because they need to be able to look out for themselves as well. I mean, they're 8 and 6, but they're is not the safest of places for them to be. I feel very, very lucky to be in Vermont, but I'm finding it's very hard to keep regulation of emotions, both positive and negative,
Yeah.
and them those emotions not affecting the people around you in a negative way.
Yeah. And
And
it's different when it's like your existence, your children's existence being legislated, not just like not just hypothetical, you know? It's like,
yeah,
yeah, like watching the news and being like, "Oh, it's me that they're talking about," or like, "Oh, it's my kids that they're talking about."
yeah. And I am sure others, and I don't I haven't found my way of processing that yet. One of the ways is through through Daily Antidote, and hearing some amazing songs like your song brought up a lot of feelings from that the election night, right? Um, and how I feel. Um, but I feel like your writing is pretty magical in encapsulating that. And I was wondering
Thank you.
what you're doing to try and help manage this insane roller coaster of emotions that we're all going through. I mean, the answer could also
Yeah.
be, I don't have anything either.
No,
Like, but
I've changed a lot of behavior actually. I kind of got to a point where I was like, I can't like just sit in this. And anger is the emotion of desire for change. You know, it's like if you're angry at someone for treating you a certain way, it's because your body goes, I don't deserve to be treated that way. Or, you know, and in this case, political anger, I'm like, okay, well, what am I doing? Because it's one thing to just feel angry, but it's like if I'm not doing anything, then there's no point in feeling angry. Might as well just feel nothing. Because like if I'm not doing anything, so yeah, the literally I gave blood for the first time ever. I was like, what can I do literally today? I was like, what can I schedule in 5 minutes? And I have always been afraid of needles, but through COVID, getting so many boosters, I was like, I feel like I could do it. And, you know, it's helpful. And actually, I ended up doing it on the same day my cousin was getting a C-section, as it turned out. And I was like, oh my God, like, she's probably getting some, and I'm giving some. So that was like immediate good feeling. I, with my climate anxiety, which is very, very strong, I gave myself a challenge this year to eat 100 vegetarian meals. If any of y'all don't know, like the meat and dairy industry is really, really, really a huge part of the climate crisis. And I don't eat a crazy amount of meat or beef in particular, but I was like, I don't eat breakfast, so I'm just going from like lunches and dinners. And I'm not counting snacks because like they're usually vegetarian anyway. I'm not like eating beef jerky or something. But I've been writing everything down, and it's only March and I've done 31 vegetarian meals, and like just kind of being conscious of it. It's funny, like it's not that hard. It's way easier than I thought it would be. And like I actually really like tofu. I joked about it in another one of my songs last time, I think. But you know, it's not good if you are expecting it to be beef, but it's not beef. It's something completely different. So if you're just like, what is this? Oh, that tastes good.
I've been vegan for nearly 30 years, so I'm not used
There
to
you
these
go.
like make replace meat replacement products.
Yeah,
And
there's
people go,
no.
I don't like tofu. Like, well, did you treat it like beef? Well, there's your problem,
Well,
darling.
that's it. Yeah, if you just treat it as its own thing.
Yeah.
And I've been eating like lots of beans and stuff, and I'm writing, also trying different vegetarian meals like out at restaurants. So I've had a couple really good like stuffed squash blossom things and like vegetarian pizza at Polly G's, and so that's been really good. And I have been. Well, this is a good segue. We were talking about before we got on the video. I just started doing book reviews and
Yeah.
book videos, and I was like, it's a way to share some of my sunshine with the world, which I have a high amount of joy that comes from reading in books. And so that's like positivity out in the world, but also I'm reading lots of interesting books that some of them are on some of these topics or bringing to light like more female authors or more minority authors. And so that has been a way that I felt like I was making a difference, and it's been really fun. And I've already done two. And people have like privately messaged me later being like, oh my God, like I got like 3 great book recs from this. Like, thank you so much. This made my day. And like, that's just been really good. And I'm
What,
still looking.
okay.
Yeah.
before we, because I want to sing your song, make sure we have time to sing your song again.
Yes. Sorry.
But I'm
I got
intrigued
excited.
because you mentioning about some of the books. What in very quick detail, very quick no detail. I don't know what's the I'm emotioned now, so I don't have words.
I'm sorry.
Two two book recommendations and a quick sentence on why.
Okay. Two very recent ones that were 5-star reads that I think every person should read. First one is called Suffrage Song by Caitlin Cass. It's a graphic novel, and it's big. It's beautiful. And there's all different styles of art in it, like watercolor, pencil, digital. It's beautiful. And it's all about the various pieces and projects within the women's movement for suffrage in the United States. And it's not just white women. It does cover some other famous people. And it's very, very nuanced and very beautiful, even with the current lens of looking back at like that person was racist. And they also, like it's very nuanced. And the other one I really just think everyone should read is called Choette by what's her name? Claire Oshetsky. And it's a surrealist novel about this woman who basically is pregnant and then gives birth to an owl baby. And it's kind of a commentary on what it's like to have a disabled child, for this speaker in the book. And also what one inciting incident can do to a marriage, and people who thought they were on the same page about stuff, how they can peel apart. And it's fascinating. And I think everyone should read it.
So people should head to your website is a good place to go.
Website has everything. Website, you can get on the mailing list, which is like the best way to hear everything about what I'm doing. And it also doesn't depend on an algorithm for you to see it. So you can get to everywhere from there. But yeah, the YouTube has my book videos and a bunch of music. If you want to pay me money for music, go to the Patreon, become a patron. You can do it for like $1 a month, and then I'll have $1 a month and be able to fix my D key on my piano. It'll be really cool.
I know I'm going to definitely be following your music closely, but also, of course, your book recommendations. Now, I'm really excited and intrigued because both those books sound absolutely fascinating.
They're awesome. I can't wait to know what you think. You have to DM me later.
I could talk to you forever. This is brilliant, but
thanks.
I really want to sing your song again.
Okay.
It's I think I'd love to hear the whole song again. Straight afterwards, we will say goodbyes, but I am probably not going to say anything straight away. So don't get I just want us to sit in that song because I think it's really powerful. And then we'll say goodbyes, just so you're not expecting my screen to be frozen or.
No, I know how it is. I played it live the other day, and there was like silence for like 30 seconds before the claps came in. For me too. I'm recovering. All right. I gotta psych myself up. Hang on, actually, 1 second. That's what it was. Okay, sorry. Been crying all morning, don't recognize myself in the mirror. Embarrassed to wear the hat that shows off our failure. And the smiles I got on the bus last night are fresh in my memory. And now I don't trust the faces I see. And they think that it's a joke, and they say they think he's funny. They'll take away my rights, but they'll do it 'cause they love me. And they'll do anything to protect what's in my tummy, but forget all about me the moment that it's just me, my body. My body. Don't want to admit the fear that I feel is breaking me. Nothing could hit me quite as hard as the future I see. And I want it to be fine, but hoping just feels so naive. When even my boss is calling me to grieve. And they think that it's a joke, and they say they think he's funny. They'll take away my rights, but they'll do it 'cause they love me. And they'll do anything to protect what's in my tummy, but take away the ring the moment she says that she loves me. My body, my body. By plan Bs and IUDs, the news has brought me to my knees. Would I pray to a kinder God? Sure, I'll be fine, I'll find a way. Try to smile as strangers say. Besides that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? And they think that it's a joke, and they say they think he's funny. They'll sell off all their rights for the price of cheap gasoline. And when it goes to hell and they're holding all the matches, they'll be surprised when they feel their buzz. And they think that it's a joke, and they say they think he's funny. They'll give away their rights when he says, I'll fix it, trust me. And they lose everything to control what's in my body. Is anybody feeling this? I hope it isn't just me. My body, my body, my...
Can we do what we did at the beginning? Let's think about our healing color. Let's just take a deep breath and imagine when you're breathing out, the healing color is going around to everybody in this room, to everybody around us, to our community. Let's breathe in. The communities that we have are so incredibly important right now, and reliance on social media is hopefully becoming less and less, which is incredibly stressful for those of us who relied on it for so long for publicity. But so I highly recommend you go and check out Elsie's mailing list, but also the Daily Antidote of Song. If you're not signed up to the Daily Antidote Song mailing list, it's absolutely fantastic. Not only does it tell you everything that's going on, it's really great for some really great activism points as well. It gives you some really good resources and links, and I highly recommend checking that out. Let's say, oh yes, Elsie.
Can I add one more thing?
Oh yeah.
Community is the enemy of capitalism. Get to know your neighbors, borrow stuff instead of buying it on Amazon. Like I hosted a book swap the other day, and I made a bunch of friends, and we all got free books out of it, and no one had to pay any money to our evil overlords. And even some of those people I'm borrowing and lending from do not have my same politics, but we're all one community. Okay.
Yes. Oh, magic. Let's say a big thank you and goodbye to everybody watching on the live stream in the archive. You are as much part of this community as all of us here. Oh yeah, before we do, so I'm all in the emotion of it now. As you can see, we've had such a magical week so far with Julie, Kim, and the wonderful Elsie. Let's give one more lovely round of applause to Elsie. We have a phenomenal rest of the week. Emma's Revolution tomorrow. We have a new friend, the awesome Abigail Washburn is coming along on the 7th. The 8th, we have Yara Allen, and then ninth we have Nicoline Snars. I can never say her surname correctly, but I think that's right. But it's an amazing week of music, and let's keep this community going. And like Elsie said, let's keep our community spreading and get to know everybody and keep this magic going. Let's say some very quick goodbyes. I know we're over time because I it was just magic and I couldn't let it go. One more goodbye to Elsie. Thank you so much. And to Jojo. I'd like to quickly say if you're new, feel free to stay and say a quick hello at the end if you would like to. Bonnie in Boise, Sarah in California. Thank you so much for coming along, everybody. Susan in Cincinnati, Sheila in Florida, Marion in Brighton, Sue in Seattle, Bob and Mabel and the Bears, Deborah in Kentucky, Meredith in San Antonio, Athena in Brooklyn, Kathleen in Albuquerque, Lynn and Cliff in Vermont, Ruth in Birmingham, Hoda in British Columbia, Laris in the UK, Caroline in DC, Carolyn in Idaho, Diane in Puerto Rico, Julie in Ontario. Oh, thank you so much for coming along. Take a breath, Alex. Nice to see you, Anne in Nashville, Jan in Massachusetts, and Louise in Devon, Nancy in Vermont, Nan in Michigan, oop, and Kathy in Colorado, and Clive in Birmingham, Al in Massachusetts, Trish in Victoria, Linda in Orcas Island, Fred in Silver Springs, Storm in the Zoomiverse in Massachusetts, Bene in Berkeley, Delhi in Maryland, Jane in Texas, Anne in Silver Spring, Neil in Boston, Nancy in Washington, Linda in California, the wonderful Ariana for all your work. Thank you. Jenny in Suffolk, Carol in Connecticut, Bronwyn in Victoria, BC, Christine and Sandy in Baltimore, and the Curly Tops in Vermont. Thank you all so very much. Have a wonderful time, and we can't wait to see you again tomorrow on the Daily Antidote Song. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Elsie. Thank you, everybody.